So, I want to make a short and no bullshit guide on how I make divines right now. Since most players know how to craft crazy rings and amulets right now, it's way slower to sell those perfect rings and amulets. Don't get me wrong, they do sell, but the time it's bought by another player is way longer based on my experience compared to the first few weeks of the new update. Also, for some players, it's high investment and the return could be low. What I mean is that, for example, a perfect amulet that has energy shield, global defense, crit, and plus to melee skills could sell for 20 or even 50 divines, depending on the stat roll. However, there's still a gamble, and you could end up with something like armor that will sell for less. If you want a low investment method, then the most guaranteed methods for divine are the trial of chaos and market flipping. Basically, I just learned about market flipping, and after learning this, I think I can say that I finally understand how you play Path of Exile 2. Normally, I just ensure that my character has 150% item rarity, and I just go out mapping, trying to farm currency or other stuff that can possibly drop that I could sell for divines. But right after I discovered market flipping, currencies dropped on maps are just bonuses. What really matters now for me are those rare gears and rituals. This is because I need those rare items so I can sell them for gold. And for rituals, I always activate them on maps to have a chance and get the Omen of Bartering, which gives a chance to increase the gold gain from selling an item to the vendor. So, what is market flipping actually? Well, it's just the basic supply and demand. You buy low, then sell high. Right now, the best currency for market flipping is the Greater Exalted Orb. What you would want to do is buy more Greater Exalted Orbs for one divine, then flip it. You buy one divine for cheaper Greater Exalted Orbs. To do this, instead of looking at the available trades, press Alt in your keyboard to see the competitive trades. For example, the available trades right now are 300 Greater Exalted Orbs to one divine. But in the competing trades, there are people asking for 337 Greater Exalted for one divine. There are 302 and 304, however, but honestly, we won't make profit on this, so let's just take 336 Exalted Orbs for one divine. Now, before recording this video, I was able to flip a lot of Greater Orbs and turn them into profit. But the market always fluctuates. When I was trading, I was able to get 320 Greater Exalted Orbs from one divine, and it profited me in the end with 450 Greater Exalted Orbs. So I got 10 trades of 320 Greater Exalted Orbs to one divine. Then I asked for one divine for only 275 Greater Exalted on my next 10 trades. Basically, 3,200 minus 2,750 gives you 450 Greater Exalted Orbs profit. That's just 5 minutes of trading, by the way. But here's the catch, though. Getting Greater Exalted Orbs will cost a lot of gold, so you will still need to grind maps for those loot and sell them to the vendor. Best way to further manipulate this is just use the Omen of Bartering, which allows you to have a chance and get more gold from the items you sold. Currently, I sit with 34 divines and 727 Greater Exalted Orbs, and this is just by market flipping for about 3 hours and 23 minutes. But mind you, the prices in the market really tends to fluctuate very often, that there are times in the game that it's not advisable to market flip. Also, the gold constraint will make you play the game instead of playing Monopoly. But honestly, I don't always do market flipping, as it's boring, and like I have said, it feels like I'm not playing Path of Exile 2 anymore, but a game of Monopoly. So aside from market flipping, I also farm, but not mapping anymore. Normally, I do Calamity Fragment farming, but I switched to my first farming method because it's way easier and more rewarding. The method is simply farming Trial of Chaos. Right now, you can earn 6 divines with the Soul Core of Jaquani, and the rest could be traded for Chaos Orbs. The Soul Core of Takati, for example, sells for 5 Chaos Orbs, and bosses in the Trial of Chaos tends to drop also Chaos Orbs. Now, the Trial of Chaos will reward you with a guaranteed Soul Core in stages 4, 7, and 10. For some players, they usually just take the rewards on stage 7 and do the whole Trial of Chaos run. But for me, I do the full 10 run, since the last part could also reward you with Divine Orbs. This really depends on your personal preference, but so far, I can run Trial of Chaos without any problem, thanks to my Crossbow Titan build. By the way, if you want to check out this build, then I also added in the video description below the Mobalytic links and the video explaining how to play this build. Right now, what I usually do is just run Trial of Chaos and Market Flip. These two methods are really good in giving you divines. So, that's all about it. I hope this helps in some way. If it does, then please do consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.